Test 1, 2. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of Delta, British Columbia, the border right here of South Delta and North Delta. Ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful part of British Columbia we have here right in Delta. And we have so many businesses in this part of Delta that contribute to the tourism and hospitality industry in British Columbia. Right here with all these buses that take people and tourists throughout our province. We have so many companies here in Delta that provide the motorhomes and the trailers that people from Europe and the United States come up to enjoy touring our beautiful province. But it's been very, very difficult for the people in the tourist and hospitality industry through this COVID-19 pandemic. Very, very tough times, but we have good news. We have answers. We have a gentleman that's going to throw these companies a life preserver, Mr. Andrew Wilkinson. But at this time, I'd like to introduce a good friend, a solid citizen of North Delta, Mr. Jet Sunner.
Thank you, Ian. That was wonderful. What a wonderful guy he is as well. Let's hear it for Ian Payton as well, guys, in Delta South. You know, guys, this past year has been really difficult. People are worried about their jobs. People are worried about their safety, the safety of their loved ones. And what's really been hit in our economy is the tourism industry as well as the hospitality. We've had millions of people that usually go through our province. They want to visit this beautiful province, our parks, and everything else that we have to offer. We have a plan. The BC Liberals have a plan in how to help that and get that back. The man that can do that is our leader, the BC Liberal leader, a wonderful man, a man that I've gotten to know who is very caring, cares deeply about the province and the people of this province. So please welcome the next Premier of British Columbia, Andrew Wilkinson.
We're going to get in trouble with the neighbors. So I think there's a time limit before the Delta police arrive and say, what is going on here? Thank you for coming out. So many of you are out today helping Jet Sunner become the next MLA for Delta North. This is an exceptional candidate, and I think we're very glad and very pleased to have him on the team because we would love to have Jet Sunner in Victoria representing Delta North rather than the current MLA who's kind of lackluster and angry and doesn't get anything done. We also want to thank Ian Payton, who's actually had to leave to go to a debate. He's the MLA for Delta South, which is, of course, is everything straight south of here to the U.S. border. We have work to do, folks. We know this election is happening this week. People are in the advance polls already. The deadline for voting is next Saturday. If people have mail-in ballots, they have to get mailed this weekend. So we got to get people mobilized. We got to get people motivated. So why should they talk about voting for the BC Liberals? Why do we say to people, you're better off with Jet Sunner and Andrew Wilkinson? It's a very straightforward answer. Look at this lot. Look at these buses that go all the way as far as you can see. Quick Shuttle is the service that goes from Vancouver to Seattle Airport. They haven't moved once since March 15th. All those people are out of work. All these buses are parked. They cost $600,000 each. Imagine the cost of keeping these buses idle. This is a very, very clear sign that we have trouble coming. You probably have heard it. This winter, 1 out of every 4 small businesses in Metro Vancouver expects to go out of business permanently. 1 out of every 2 households, half the population, say that they expect someone to lose their job in their house this winter. 1/3 of households can't pay their bills right now. They're living on credit cards. We have a big economic problem that's come out of COVID. We'll get through COVID, but we've got to have a plan to move on from COVID. We've got to have a plan to make sure these kids graduate from school with a job, to make sure that young people, where unemployment right now is 30%, We've got to make sure they have some sense of hope and purpose. So we've put together a bold plan for economic recovery. Sadly, the NDP have no plan. They say they'll send you a check for $1,000 as a bribe for your vote. How far does $1,000 go right now? Does that take you to Christmas? Does that take you through next summer? We have a plan to reinvigorate the economy. I was just up in Campbell River this morning talking to these people in the logging industry. They pay provincial sales tax on every truck. The trucks cost anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000. They say, holy smokes, if I didn't have to pay provincial sales tax, that's a $28,000 savings. I was just out talking to dump truck drivers in Surrey half an hour ago. They're paying up to $400,000 for one of those double trailer units. They say, whoa, $28,000 in savings? That would be great. It'll reinvigorate them, give them working capital, give them a chance to get ahead, give them a chance to save a bit for the rainy days when the work slows down. This is critically important. That's why we took the bold decision to say, let's abolish provincial sales tax for a year. Get people out in the car dealerships, get people going, put everything on sale. Save everybody the bother of sending provincial sales tax to the provincial government. It's expensive, folks, but the average family of 4, like a couple of these vehicles, will be saving $1,721. That's extra money for them to work with. What do? They'll go to those stores where things are on sale. They'll go and participate in the economy, get the whole place moving. This is what we need for the next year. The second layer we've said, small business income tax applies to little companies that make up to $500,000 a year. Abolish it. No more small business income tax. That'll give them $10,000 of working capital to hire somebody, to get new fixtures, to do the things that build them into the future. And for this business, look at this down here. Before the banks show up to tow away the buses, we say, give them bridge financing. Keep them alive. The tourists will come back. But imagine what happens to British Columbia if the bear viewing people go broke, the fishing lodges go broke, the little beach resorts in the interior go broke, the bus companies go broke. Then the tourists can't come. There's nothing to come to. And once the vaccine comes along, those tourists will be so eager to get out and enjoy life. We'll have them coming in from Germany and Japan and the USA. They're the people who fill up these buses and spend their money in British Columbia. So we have said it is very important to keep these companies ticking along. They need the financing support through the winter when there is no revenue. It applies to the ski hills, to the ski supply stores, the fishing stores, everybody who's involved in hospitality and tourism. Otherwise, we're going to see our economy shrink. We're going to see tens of thousands of people without work, without hope. And we say that is not good enough. We have to hang together. We have to work together. We have to build British Columbia. And that's why we say it's time to restore confidence and rebuild BC. We can't do this alone. We got to do this together. We have to hang together, just like we did in crushing the virus through the summer. But the virus is coming back. All of us know that. It's going to have a big slowdown effect on the economy. Even if we don't get ill, we're going to have a big slowdown in our economy. So what are we doing? A few things that we have up our sleeves. First of all, the economic plan. Drop the sales tax for a year. Eliminate small business income tax. Bridge financing for the hospitality industry. What else have we got in mind? Give you choice in auto insurance so that ICBC is not your only choice. And these young kids in the back of the truck here, once they get a license, where are they going to find $7,000 to pay ICBC? We've said they deserve a break when they become young drivers so that they can have a chance to start to drive. So these kids don't have a horn, but kids, if you had a horn, would you push it and say, yeah, we want car insurance to be cheaper for kids? Let's hear it for the kids. Now, those kids may have lost their chance because the deal I made with them was when people beat their horns, they'd jump up and down. So let's try it again. Kids, where are your sleds? The other part of the deal is they agreed not to fall off the back of the truck while they're jumping up and down. Good work, kids. So that's the next step. Get ICBC rates under control. And there's something very, very special that you may have noticed about 2 kilometers over here. It's called the worst traffic bottleneck in Western Canada. It's called the Massey Tunnel. Anybody tired of waiting at the Massey Tunnel? About 6 months ago, I had that experience. I've gone southbound through the traffic delays lots of times. You think this is madness, sitting here for 45 minutes with a lineup of trucks losing money hand over fist, pumping out fumes. It's crazy making. I was coming north from South Surrey about 3:30 in the afternoon. And you probably know this, I didn't. You go past Highway 91, and suddenly the road's empty. You think, oh, this is great. Going to be no problem going through the tunnel. You go for the 10 kilometers along the straightaway past the South Fraser Perimeter Road. You come around a corner, and suddenly it's a massive parking lot. And you sit there for an hour, idling, wasting away your life, missing flights, missing soccer games, missing doctor's appointments. We can do better, folks. And what we did was we got a deal for a 10-lane bridge to replace that tunnel that was supposed to open 18 months from now. The kids like the bridge? Jump up and down, kids, come on. What did the NDP do? They said, oh, you've already done $95 million worth of work on it. There's already 6 kilometers of preload sand there compressing the roadbed to improve the roadbed. What did the NDP do? They canceled it. They threw $95 million down the drain and said, we're going to study it. That's a polite way of saying they're never going to do anything. Because let's get it clear. The NDP have been in office 13 years since 1990. How many hospitals did they build in that time? 0. They promised the Abbotsford Hospital 12 times and never did anything. We came into office and built it in 3 years. We've been in office for 16 of the last 30 years, and we built 14 hospitals. We don't talk. Your kids like hospitals more than insurance. But the point is, we don't just talk, we get stuff done. We build stuff because we mean it when we say we're going to do it. We don't have special payoff deals with our union buddies like they do. We just get the best deal and build it. Like the Portman Bridge, like the Golden Ears Bridge, the South Fraser Perimeter Road, and we have said we will build a second hospital in South Surrey, and we mean it. Now, Jet asked me about a week ago, we'd announced the bridge. He was very happy about that. And he said, look, you know, this matters a lot in his riding of North Delta. He said, you know, Ian Payton, he's already got what he needs. Don't worry about him. You know, he's got his perimeter road. Everything's smooth in his riding. How about we name the bridge after Jet? Look at this. But he's got a problem. With his name, it would either become known as the Sunny Bridge or as the Jet Bridge. I don't think we can do that while you're still alive, Jet. So we have said we will get on with the construction of that bridge to replace the Massey Tunnel immediately after we form office. Because the plans are all done, the work's all done, the environmental assessment's all done, it's ready to go. Let's just get out there and build the bridge and solve the biggest traffic bottleneck in Western Canada. You think so? These kids are going to like this. Daddy, can we go back to that truck or bus parking lot in Delta next weekend and jump up and down? But we've got more. We say it's time to make sure that lower income families can get in the workforce. You can't have one parent stuck at home even though they're able and wanting to work because of the need for childcare. So we said it's time for $10 a day care for every family with an income of less than $65,000. Up to $90,000, $20 a day. Up to $125,000, $30 a day. Give everybody the chance to get ahead because we're going to need those people in the workforce when BC gets back on track. And a couple of more very important things. We need to make sure our seniors can live at home where they're comfortable and secure and it's the safest place from COVID. So we've said give them a tax credit for housekeeping, for home care, for some home repairs. It's way cheaper than having them in government institutions like the NDP do. So let's make sure our seniors can age in the right place, which is in their own home, until they're long into their senior years, and then we'll provide that right level of institutional care. That's... And one more thing, which is a lot more somber. We've got a big problem in our society with drug addiction. So let's do something about it. Let's have a prescription monitoring program. I practice medicine. You get patients come in, like I broke my leg 6 weeks ago and I still need some pretty heavy drugs. Get them on a monitoring program and get them referred to specialist care before they get addicted to drugs. Don't just let it happen in the doctor's office. 49 American states do it. The NDP have been dragging their feet on this for 3 years. We can do it. And we can get people off drugs. If it's your mother, your sister, your daughter, it's not good enough to say we're going to reduce the harm and give them drugs the rest of their life. That's not right. Treat people with respect. Treat the causes. That's what you're taught in medical school. So let's get the diagnosis and get these people into treatment and let them get on with a real, proper, happier life than being eternally hooked on drugs. That's the BC Liberal way. That's what we want to do. Now here's the grand finale, and we've got to make sure these kids don't fall off the back of the truck. So kids, you ready? The election is this week. It's started already. People have postal votes. They have to get them in today if they're going to be received by Elections BC by next Friday. There are advance polls open in every riding. People just have to go in with their ID. They don't have to have something that arrived in the mail. Show up at any poll with your ID and you can vote. Make sure you're encouraging everybody you know to get out and vote. Because what we're seeing is NDP complacency. They think, oh, it's all going to be all right. Don't have to do very much. That's our opportunity, folks. Because if we stand for rebuilding, if we stand for restoring confidence, if we want to elect Jet Sooner as our MLA for Delta North, who's a superb candidate, we have a duty to ourselves, we have a duty to our community, and overall, above all else, we have a duty to these kids jumping up and down the back of the truck to make sure that after COVID, they live in a world of opportunity right here in BC. Let's do it! Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrew. That was wonderful. And I believe in everything that is on our platform with the business income tax, the PST reduction for a year and 3% following, the seniors care, our education plan, our public safety plan. Read about them. It all makes sense. Those are all sensible things that we need to do to support people, to get them back to work, and to do it safely. And I really believe in Andrew. I really believe that with his background, his intelligence, and his compassion and care, that we can do it, that we will elect the BC Liberals as the party for this term. and so we can move on and make our province an even better place. Thank you, everybody.